Elias stood in the center of a crowded banquet, clutching a glass of champagne he did not want. The air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume and shallow ambition. A colleague cracked a dull joke about market trends, and Elias forced a hollow laugh that never reached his eyes. He nodded in agreement with political opinions he found utterly absurd, feeling his palms sweating inside the lining of his expensive suit. He was a master architect, but he was living in a life built entirely on other people's blueprints. That night, the silence of his apartment pressed against his ears like a physical weight. Elias stood before his bathroom mirror, stripped of the public mask. He stared at his own reflection, then placed a trembling hand against the cold, unyielding glass. The man looking back felt like a stranger. He whispered to the void, "Who are you when the lights go out?" The reflection stayed silent, offering no comfort, only the stark reality of a hollow man. The realization was a quiet, sharp blade. The next morning, Elias sat at his mahogany desk. When his manager asked for an endorsement on a flawed project, Elias did the unthinkable. He pushed the file back and said, "I cannot support this." The manager's jaw dropped in stunned silence. By noon, his inbox was a graveyard of cold emails from slighted colleagues. He went to lunch alone, choosing a quiet park bench over the networking cafe. He reached up, loosened his tie, and pulled it off entirely, breathing real air for the first time in years. He spent the next month stripping away the facade. He stopped buying clothes he hated and reading books he thought he should like. He quit the high-stakes club that bored him to tears. Some friends stopped calling. A cousin texted saying he had become difficult. Elias deleted it all. In his garage, his hands were covered in blue oil paint. He made a mistake on a canvas, but instead of hiding it, he turned the error into the center of the composition. He was finally learning to embrace the flaws. A year later, Elias stood before the same mirror. He had a small scar on his chin and gray hairs he no longer cared to dye. He looked at his reflection and held his own gaze. He was no longer a success story to his old peers, but he was a man who knew exactly where he stood. He walked out his front door toward his studio, his shadow stretching long on the pavement, belonging entirely to him. He was finally home.